this is Liz from People I Think Are Cool, a bi-weekly podcast where I interview my favorite creatives from across the globe. If you're looking for a dose of creative inspiration, then go to peopleithinkarecool.com or subscribe to People I Think Are Cool on iTunes and Stitcher.
You like film, from cult to classic, from blockbuster to B-movies. And there just isn't that one place with all the fan fervor and passion that's covering the kind of mad, diverse brilliance that you love.
Well, that's where you're wrong.
ITMODmini.com is that fan-built movie nirvana just for you, featuring the sweet, sweet writings of the wife dork herself. ITMODmini.com. Go there. Be the best you can be.
You are listening to the In the Mouth of Dorkness podcast. Here are Brad, Lisa, Brian, and Darren.
Welcome to another edition of the ITMODcast podcast. Joining us is Brian Young, the Turtle Dork.
Oh, phooey, I burnt the darn muffins.
And also joining us is Lisa Gullickson, wife dork.
I'm chopping carrots. They might not be carrots. I can't remember this movie.
And also joining us is Brad Gullickson, mouth dork.
I got no quote after that.
And Billy Dash, the indie dork.
I'm gonna go with what's up, everybody.
Yep. And I'm your host, Darren Smith, the disco dork. He's been licking his asshole for 3 straight hours. I submit to you, there is nothing there worth more than an hour's attention. I should think that whatever he's attempting to dislodge is either gone for good or there to stay. Wouldn't you agree?
Good Brian Cox.
Yeah.
And welcome to another edition of the ITMODcast podcast. Still awesome.
Yeah.
And
Episode 5.
is this episode?
Well, fifth film.
All right. Fifth film in our Still
Moving
Awesome
along.
series.
Yeah.
Moving along.
And as you know, it is the Long Kiss Goodnight. Perfect holiday film. So we got one Geena Davis and one Samuel L. Jackson, and a Renny Harlin action film for the holidays, written by
Shane Black.
Shane Black.
1996. This is like the height.
The height.
Yeah. Like 80s, 90s is prime Shane Black, coming off from Lethal Weapon, Last Boy Scout, I believe. And
Last
yeah.
Action Hero is before this,
Yeah.
which leads to the selling of this script for $4 million, which was the most amount of cash ever given to a spec script.
Spec script.
That's spec script.
You said this before we started recording. I cannot fucking believe it was a spec script that they paid $4 million for. That's fucking
$4
crazy,
million.
man.
He would not be dethroned until Disney purchased the awesome spec script of Deja Vu. Yes.
Tony Scott,
but-
Denzel Washington movie.
I mean, you
That
should be
one.
serious. Deja Vu's great, right?
I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's no Domino,
It's no Long Kiss Goodnight.
nope.
and it's no Long Kiss Goodnight. Correct.
All right. So why is the Long Kiss Goodnight still awesome? Firstly, why was it awesome in the first place?
Well, I mean, we just really kind of spoke about it. I think Shane Black's writing and what he was doing at that time, and then you combine Samuel Jackson, who we just talked about in our Fistful. I mean, just that dichotomy, that chemistry, especially with Geena Davis and the idea of her with having this amnesia and the fact that she plays like this kind of homestead wife who was a badass assassin. I think these are just all ingredients that just kind of make like that perfect 90s action film.
Well, Black was the master of the buddy cop comedy action film, right?
Yeah.
And to your point, Geena Davis and Sam Jackson as a pair, that really was a twisting of that narrative. Like you have not seen this particular brand of coupling before within this framework.
No, you haven't. And I like that he's able to kind of subvert that by putting these two together, especially with these two actors, Geena Davis and Samuel L. Jackson, and it just really works on screen.
And I want to say at this point, neither were known for like action movies, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Jackson was riding high off of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, and Geena Davis was riding high off of Cutthroat Island. But this is a bit of a redemption story because Geena Davis and Renny Harlin, who I think were either dating or married.
I think they're married at this
I
point.
think they were married at the time, and Cutthroat Island was a film that he directed and was critically panned. And to come back and work together again to make the Long Kiss Goodnight and kind of redeem what they did in that terrible film, I think they succeeded at
I've
that.
never seen Cutthroat Island.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. Because of how that film was kind of sold to me especially being so far removed from it, I was just like, anytime it comes on, it's like, oh, this is that terrible movie. I don't think I want to sit through this.
We should make that one of our still awesome films for 2019.
No. Well,
because
to
it was
qualify, it would have to be awesome in the first place.
Damn it.
Yeah.
So it's,
Gotta look for a loophole.
But it's kind of cool though that when you think about that kind of backstory, that they were able to kind of come back and make this movie that really did kind of kick ass. So I thought that was really cool.
What I think is interesting about this film, praising the dynamic between Geena Davis and Sam Jackson, is that in the original script and the original cut of the film, Hennessy's character dies earlier on in the film, and then they tested it. It did poorly. Everyone was like, "We love Sam Jackson. Bring Sam Jackson back. How dare you?" That Renny Harlin agreed and recut the film and then added a proper ending for the Hennessy character.
Yeah, he's great in that movie, and that I don't want to spoil anything about the film, but there's a moment when there's a crowd pleasing moment in the film where Hennessy makes a particular entrance in the third act that is just really, really crowd pleasing, and I would love to wait and see how people respond to that, especially like following his character throughout the film. I think it's really gonna be cool to see.
Well, did you guys all see this when it originally came out in
I
theater?
did. I was just thinking. I saw it at Union Station. I remember the screening. I remember who I was with. I remember her crying when the life is pain. You just get used to it. I remember her crying on that part. I remember seeing it theatrically.
And were you Sam Jackson fans already? You'd all seen Pulp Fiction. You were excited to see him in this.
So, at that point, even having seen Pulp Fiction, I don't know that Sam Jackson was the main draw for me to go see this. At this time, I was aware of who Renny Harlin was as a director. He did Die Hard 2, and Die Hard 2 is great.
Yes,
It is.
So
for sure.
that I think I want to say back in those when it was originally released, that was what I was excited about. Was because it was directed by Renny Harlin,
and he had also just done Die Hard with a Vengeance the year before.
Yes, and so that the idea that Sam Jackson was in this was just was just like icing on the cake. But yeah, I was into it because Renny Harlin was directing.
Yeah. Well, Cliffhanger was, before Cutthroat Island, the I guess would be disaster. Renny Harlin directed Cliffhanger, which is Die Hard on a Mountain with Sylvester Stallone.
And what about you guys with Geena Davis?
Well, I've always been a huge fan of Geena Davis.
Yeah, but going to your point, like she wasn't known for these type of films, and more so, well, I would say Thelma and Louise, but that's not like a
very different.
For me, like Geena Davis is
92.
a league of their own.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's really where it came down to, was a league of their own.
And I remember this vaguely being on TV. Like, I feel like it was like one of those movies that would pop up on TV every once in a while. So it's one of those movies where I'm like, I'm not entirely sure I've seen it all the way through, and I definitely haven't seen it without commercials.
Well, we tried to watch it in our early dating life. And
then we started making out.
No, sadly, that was not the end of that
Only
night.
I want to start making out when I see Geena Davis.
This was an early moment in our relationship where I learned what VF and not VF was. Because one night I went over to Lisa's place and I put on David Mamet's Heist. And that film opens with a robbery that involves somebody being poisoned and not being VF, right? And then I was like, okay, let's not watch that. Let's watch Showgirls. You've never seen Showgirls, right? This movie's nuts. And then that movie opens up with somebody getting punched, not VF.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, let's not watch Showgirls. Lisa doesn't like that. Let's put on The Long Kiss Goodnight. And that movie opens up with Hennessy hiring two bums to be his escorts, and his facade is broken when one of his bums, who's not an actual escort but is a bum, goes not VF on us.
That was so upsetting.
Yeah, it was 3 movies back to back to back, right from the jump. All of them having vomit sequences in them.
How many movies did you bring with you?
I had like a like a whole tray of things I was excited to show Lisa.
I'm just genuinely curious. That's interesting to me that you
crazy.
had movies ready to go just in case it didn't work out.
She seemed excited by the fact that I liked movies at the time, and I was like, "I'll
You're
bring
like
over
a
a
backpack
tray
full of movies.
No, it was actually like a something you would serve a breakfast on, but it was like a tray of DVDs.
I love
think that's
that.
a romantic gesture.
No, I think that's
Anything
great.
on a tray.
She married me, guys.
Currently on our Still Awesome page, we have a poll going for what film is considered peak Geena Davis. And right now it's overwhelmingly A League of Their Own.
Of course it is.
26 people total have voted for A League of Their Own, followed by
It's a landslide.
Thelma
You don't
and
mention the
Louise.
numbers on our sad little poll,
Oh, I should have
Lisa.
done percentages. Well, people voted for other things. An indeterminate number of people on an indeterminate number of things, but yeah.
There's 5,000 choices, all
23
one pick
votes.
each.
23 votes was a tremendous landslide, and she is a goddess.
No Beetlejuice?
There is a percentage of people who voted for Beetlejuice.
What about Earth Girls Are Easy?
Man,
that is on
that's
the
a good
list
point, yeah.
because I love that movie.
Yeah.
No lies. That's also a movie that was on Comedy Central like full time.
That's Jeff Goldblum too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not even an option, but it must have been an option because I know I put it on there. Anyway, yes,
I don't know.
a percentage.
I think she is great in A League of Their Own. I tend to think of her first in Thelma and Louise, probably, and then A League of Their Own, and then The Long Kiss Goodnight.
But I think for her, this points to her willingness to branch out as an actor and try different roles and different types of roles. Because Thelma and Louise and A League of Their Own, despite both kind of like being at the top of peak Geena Davis, it's not the same type of movie that she's playing. She's very versatile as an actress.
yeah.
And you got to have that versatility because she's playing these dual type of characters, where she is kind of like the mom character, and then she has to kind of flip it and be believable as this assassin as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think her filmography kind of points that she's able to kind of play these two different types of characters.
I learned two things: that she is a character on Grey's Anatomy, and Grey's Anatomy is still happening.
Yeah.
Is she currently a character on Grey's Anatomy?
Yes, she is Dr. Nicole Herman.
Oh my gosh! Nobody says Transylvania 65000. Peak Geena Davis, was that one of the choices on there?
That wasn't one of the choices, but you could have added it as a choice. It was a very flexible.
That's a good one.
That would have been
That's a good
mine.
one. Yeah. I don't know. Going back to the Shane Black of it all, what's so interesting about The Long Kiss Goodnight is that after this film, after he gets a massive payday, he disappears for a decade.
Yeah.
You know, he does not come back until 2005 with Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And he comes back in a big way. I love Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
So before Kiss Kiss, there was Long Kiss Goodnight was the last thing that he did?
The last full screenplay. He
Full
had,
screenplay,
character credit on Lethal Weapon 4, but that was really it. And I think he was doing some ghostwriting and stuff like that. But I also know he had a lot of personal shit he had to deal with after The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Okay.
So
Such as what?
such as drugs and shit. I don't know.
Okay.
Drugs are bad, guys.
The reason why, when initially I got excited because Renny Harlin was directing this was because, as you mentioned, Billy, he directed Cliffhanger, but also Die Hard 2. Those movies, when you look at those as, in regards to constructions of like action pictures, and not even just construction of action sequences, but how you build up to these action sequences, how the movies build up the characters so that when the action sequences come, you're either rooting for the character or you're hating that character and you want them to get their comeuppance. And I think with both Cliffhanger and Die Hard 2, I think Renny Harlin does a good job of putting together an action picture. Cutthroat Island, I guess maybe the anomaly, but also you look at like Deep Blue Sea. Brad,
yeah.
I know you hate that movie, but
Why do you hate that movie? It's so good.
But
It's not that good.
it's
guys.
amazing.
But just like The Long Kiss Goodnight,
I
just
like Driven better.
Wait, did he direct Driven?
Yes, he did.
That's the one with Sylvester Stallone.
It is.
It is.
I also like his version of Exorcist: The New Beginning better.
I think Renny Harlin's a really fun director, honestly.
Same, I agree.
But you just don't like Deep Blue Sea.
Not Deep Blue Sea.
When was that movie When did that movie come out?
96.
Yeah, either 98 or 99.
99 is Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea, okay.
Is it?
That movie's still awesome.
No,
It is still
no,
awesome.
no.
It is still awesome.
You have to have a vote for a still awesome, and
All
you're
right.
never gonna get that by me.
1, 2, 3.
I was gonna say,
4.
Nope.
what's the ratio of votes that have to? Does it have to be 100%?
I count as 5 people because
Oh.
I'm mouth dork. I'm better than
the
all
Security
of you.
Council for the Still Awesome series.
All right. But what does Andy think about it?
No, don't be having no secret Andy conversations.
Okay. All right. What? So I say that to say, with Long Kiss Goodnight, the reason why it's such a great movie, not just action picture, because, well, you have the first part, that first act of that film, when we establish Geena Davis's character, Samantha. You establish her home life. She's a mom. She's a housewife. She has a daughter who is aware of her amnesia. And then they set up her past coming back to haunt her. But also they set up Hennessy's character, Mitch Hennessy's character as well in that first act. So you have these two characters who, unbeknownst to us, they'll partner up later on in the film. But I just feel like the movie does a good job as far as pacing wise, using that first act to establish the two characters, the second act to bring those two characters together, and that third act is to, flesh out the rest of their relationship, but also, get the bad guy. And I don't know, I just feel like the movie it doesn't feel too long. It's never boring, and the set pieces are inventive. So there's I want to say the first action set piece is the one where they're in that, it's either a train or a bus station, and Samantha can't remember the face of the person they're supposed to be going to meet. So there's this mystery of, okay, we're supposed to be going here to meet someone, but I don't remember what he looks like. And you have actually the CIA, the people who she used to work for, they're out there trying to get her too. And so there's a danger of this person that she has to meet being one of the CIA. And so the way that set piece is started, firstly, it opens really cool in the parking lot with that introduction of one of Mitch's little idiosyncrasies, where he sings little songs and little ditties to remind himself of things, where he put his keys, what pocket he put his gun in. And so you have that moment prior to them going in there. But then that scene culminates with them, if I'm not mistaken, jumping out of a window, shooting through the ice, and then it doesn't even end there. Like, I want to say that there's someone gets in a car and she's on the ice, like skating on the ice, like shooting at the car. So just the way that scene starts, them in the parking lot going to meet this person, and then it escalates to the point where she's ice skating and firing off a pistol while shooting at this car. And so I don't know, like, the movie it has multiple action sequences like that, especially like in the third act when Mitch goes to when she goes to rescue Mitch when he gets kidnapped. So I don't know, I think Renny Harlin doesn't get enough credit for how he constructs action sequences. Like, you look at like Die Hard 2. I know people don't think Die Hard 2 is a great movie. I know it has its detractors, but I think it's a really good action
Badass action film.
Yeah. And so
Bruce Willis skyrockets on a fireball in an ejection seat into the air.
Yep.
It's amazing.
From a plane that could not possibly have ejected.
Nope. It's so
but
good.
it's movies though. Like when I saw that in the theater, like I didn't care about any of that.
Yeah,
Like, okay, C-130s don't have ejections.
Look,
that's
if
fine.
you give a shit about facts and stuff, a lot of Renny Harlin's movies are not going to be for you. You really have to let that go. And if you did, maybe you'd like Deep Blue Sea, Brad, but I'm just saying.
It's the Sam Jackson thing. I came here for Sam Jackson. You steal Sam Jackson away from me? How dare you?
All right, but
Hennessy, they killed Hennessy, and they knew that was a mistake, and they kept him in.
but Deep Blue Sea must have tested pretty well with his demise because
Yeah.
it's. And then Thomas Jane. You're a fan of Thomas Jane, right? Don't you like Thomas Jane?
Thomas Jane is great.
Not like I like Sam Jackson.
Oh.
I think that they tested the ending of Deep Blue Sea, and originally the lady doctor was the hero. Fucking whose name I cannot remember.
Deborah.
Saffron Burrows.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Saffron. Yeah. And I think she lives, and she's supposed to be the hero. And I think that they recut the ending of that movie to frame Thomas Jane as the hero of the film because people were like, "This doctor is crazy."
Because she dies, right? She falls off when they're crossing the little
She cuts
beam.
her wrist and falls in the
So can you imagine being called for like pickup shots of like, hey, we need
We're
to do
gonna
some
need to
additional
kill you.
shooting.
Yeah, you thought you were the star, but now you're dead.
Yeah, and you have to kill yourself. So, but look, Long Kiss Goodnight, really good movie.
Right.
Tickets are on sale now. We'll be there December 8th at the Alamo
Ninth.
Draft. 9th, I'm sorry, at the Alamo Draft House in Winchester. Is it an 8 p.m. show?
8 p.m.,
8 p.m.
yes.
Come hang out with us.
What we call the magic hour.
The magic hour.
And then in January, we don't have a date just yet, but our next Still Awesome is going to be Daniel Klaus's Ghost World.
Scarlett Johansson is in
Yeah,
that movie.
Yeah,
Super
right?
baby
young.
Scarlett
Oh my gosh,
Johansson.
B. Wait.
I just saw Brian wake up.
You saw that?
Oh yeah, but
Somebody says Scarlett Johansson. Hello.
Yeah, but she's a child.
she's a
guys.
child. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Is she like a teenager?
Yeah.
Is Steve Buscemi in this movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As is Pat Healy.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
I don't remember him. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. I remember Steve Buscemi. Don't remember Pat Healy. Huh. All right.
It's a fun-
Who's the other girl? Who's ScarJo's best friend?
Oh,
in
Thora
this?
Birch.
Thora
Thora
Birch. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. So yes, that's coming up next for us. Still awesome. In the meantime, we still got to get through the Long Kiss Goodnight. So come hang out with us December 9th. Tickets are on sale, 8 p.m.
Bring a friend.
Bring a friend. Bring several. And come watch a cool movie. Brian, you can follow that guy at the Turtle Dork on Twitter, at the Turtle Dork 1 on Instagram, and at Brian William Young on Facebook. Wife Dork is at Sidewalk Siren and at Bake Dork on Twitter, Instagram, and she's also at Sidewalk Siren on Letterboxd. Brad Gullickson is at Mouth Dork on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Letterboxd, and Untappd. Billy Das is at WB Das on Twitter and Instagram. And I am Darren Smith, the Disco Dork, on all social medias. You can follow the podcast at ITMODcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's going to do it for us. Thank you all for listening. Come hang out with us at the Alamo and watch a really cool movie, please. That's going to do it for us. Thank you all for listening. Enjoy the rest of your week. Check out our Fistful of Sam Jackson. And until next time.